Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today is an exciting day. We're reaching the end of the year, almost winter. Winter is December 21st. And today, I think will actually be our last YouTube for this year, but we'll see you again in the new year, of course. I'm super dressed up because I've got a lot of exciting things going on, and I'm rushing out to do all those holiday things, and I'm sure you are too. So whether you're watching me live or you're watching me later on YouTube, we're so happy that you're here. Today, we're going to be talking about holiday essentials. We did a little bit about winter essentials last week, and we're going to be talking sort of in the same vein, but a little bit more information, a little bit different today. So welcome back. We've got a lot of things that we want to share with you, not the least of which is that we've got some really good information for today. I love the holiday months for a couple of different reasons, and I'm actually going to show you some great photographs that I hope you like of different things that are going on right here where I am. And many of you know that I'm in New Jersey, and this is, I don't know, it's just a great time to be alive. Right. Okay. So number one is this is called thriving during the holidays. I want to say Merry Christmas to anybody who's celebrating. I'm going to show you a couple of extra things before I really get there. But today, Merry Christmas 2022. Crazy, right? I know. How does the time go? Okay, so we're thriving during the holidays with essential oils, and I wanted to show you the first snow. So we actually had our first snow at my house. And this is a view out my back window. There's, I think that's actually either the sun coming up or the moon going down, because it was quite early in the morning here. So that's just a view from my back window. And I don't know if you've seen snow where you are. I was super surprised. We actually didn't think it was going to be snow. We thought it was going to be rain. I love snow. I know a lot of people don't love it, but I just love it. I love the way it looks. I love the way it acts. And I don't know if it'll stick around, but it's marvelous and it's beautiful. And so happy to see the first one. Okay, so here's just one more better view, just looking out into my backyard. We've got a lot of snow out there, so that's really kind of a happy snowy morning. And this is from this morning. So for all of you celebrating, we are in the season of Advent. And if you're lighting candles, you know that every week we light a different candle to kind of count down the days, if you will, to Christmas. And we've just lit our third candle, which means we're about halfway there. We just celebrated our third Sunday of Advent, and that's the about 40 days before Christmas. So we're about halfway there. For those of you who are counting down, got any kids listening to this? Yes, we're almost there. We want to talk about, when we talk about essential oils, of course, the first thing we want to talk about is quality over quantity, right? So that comes in a couple of different formats. Number one is if you're using essential oils, you really only want to use between 1 and 4 drops anytime that you personally are using essential oils. You want to think of that, especially when you're working on children or the elderly. If you're applying essential oils to your skin, that would be between 1 and 4 drops of a single essential oil. So that would mean that if you were blending 2 oils together, you could repeat that. But in general, you want to kind of think about 24 drops in 24 hours, right? We don't want to douse ourselves with a whole lot of essential oils that we really can't process, which is why fractionated coconut oil is such a wonderful thing. Whenever we mix the essential oils, so those are the non-fatty oils, with a fatty oil like fractionated coconut oil or almond oil or jojoba or even olive oil out of your cabinet, you're doing 2 things. You're really gluing the oil into place, the essential oil into place, and you're allowing it to become more long lasting. Why? Because essential oils are not fatty, and they're going to kind of disperse into the air, right? They're going to just evaporate. But if you glue them into place with something a little bit more fatty, they're going to stay in place and they're going to continue to work over a longer period of time. Adding a fatty oil can also allow your essential oils to moisturize your skin, where many essential oils are actually fairly drying. So on a couple of different planes, you want to make sure that you're using smaller amounts of oils. But then if you're not using a really high quality blend like doTERRA, I'm going to challenge you to switch. And the reason I'm going to challenge you to switch is I've been there and I've done that. And I've used a lot of different brands, including some of the bigger well-known ones that I'm not even going to mention here. But over time, I came to see that they weren't as committed to quality or testing or really making sure that their products were not adulterated. And it is a big deal, folks, in the industry. Many essential oils, especially the more common ones, things like lavender, are very, very adulterated. So we want to make sure that we're getting the purest we can possibly find. So if I can give you one piece of advice, please choose the best that you can, and then don't overdo it. Your body doesn't need more. Okay, first thing I wanted to give you were some diffuser blends, and you can take some screenshots of these if you want. Everything from Candy Cane Forest to Cozy Christmas. These are really easy blends that you can make on your own. You can do a couple of different things. You can put them in a roller bottle, 10 milliliter roller bottle, and top off the roller bottle with fractionated coconut oil, or you can stick them right in a water-based diffuser, or you can put them in what we call a dry diffuser, which is something like a car diffuser or other, usually they're portable, that just has a small piece of felt in it, like a felt filter. And you would drop the oils directly on there, close it up, put it on, and out into the air it comes. Either one is really wonderful. You don't want to saturate your air too much, get a little bit crazy. So for example, you wouldn't want to multiply the drops by 10 if you were especially working in a small area. The only time we really multiply the drops is if we're making, say, bigger sprayer bottles, or if we're making multiple roll-ons, right? We want to be mindful of not going overboard. So that goes back to quality versus quantity, right? My favorite, I think, on this list is either the Bye Bye Winter Blues with the green mandarin, one of my favorite scents, or perhaps the Long Winter Sleep, which includes the pink pepper and the green mandarin. Now, I would probably substitute maybe that cassia for frankincense, just saying. But I love the blend. I love pink pepper and I love green mandarin. So I hope you'll find your favorite and let me know what that is. Here's a couple more. Can never just limit yourself to a few blends, I have to say. There's so many out there. These are going to be your warmer blends, if you will. So these are your gingerbread and your warm wishes, including things like ginger and cinnamon and clove. You can take screenshots of these. You can save them if you want, but I like the idea of just having almost like a catalog, if you will, of blends that I like. I put them together, I stick them somewhere, I save them, and then as I need them periodically throughout the year, I pull them out. And I often repeat blends, because if it's something that I like and I like the way it smells, really, why not repeat it? If you have a favorite blend, let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear about it, or let me know in the comments below. We always are looking for tips and tricks to prepare more blends. And you know that on this channel, I often give you tips on blends. Okay, now, holiday gift alert. If you are still looking for gifts and you are really kind of, at this point, maybe even panicking because the stores are crowded and there's a lot of traffic and you're not sure what you're going to do, and you still have a list like Santa, DIY gifts are the way to go. Most people appreciate DIY gifts. You can usually make them in bulk. The other thing is the act of making the gift is so peaceful, so satisfying, and you can do it in community. So that's what I love about the holidays, right? We want to be in community. We want to celebrate together. So DIY gifts, that's the way to go. If you're busily kind of stirring pots and mixing things all alone in your kitchen or your office or wherever it is that you're working, it might be actually a little sad. Invite your kids, invite your friends, get together with some of your colleagues, invite someone maybe who's never tried doTERRA before to come over and just have a little bit of, I don't know, Christmas cheer with you, or maybe prepare some sort of a hot drink. But gifts, DIY gifts, we got you covered, and this is the place to be. Okay, number one, we've got, and I'm posting on here so you can see them, the ingredients. I'm not going to give you all of the recipes because some of the recipes are basically like dump everything in a bowl and mix it up, including this one. If you've never heard of salt dough ornaments, there's some of the most simple things that you can do at Christmas time, really easy for young kids. You can use, you're using flour, salt, warm water, your essential oils of your choice, and you're going to basically make a dough. And as you're making the dough, you want to make sure that it's going to kind of clump together and be able to be rolled out with a rolling pin. As you can see, these are kind of round, flat ornaments, but you can make them in other shapes. You can use cookie cutters or any other thing that you would like, stars or moons or whatever makes you happy. And you don't want to make them too thin because they can break. The other thing is, if you have someone in your house who is gluten-free, you want to make sure that that flour is going to be okay for them to work on. If it's not okay, of course, you can use gluten-free flour, or we've got some other tips for you, but this is a super easy one. So when I sent my salt dough ornaments, I use things like peppermint, frankincense, Siberian fir, cinnamon bark, clove, holiday joy, holiday peace, or wild orange. What's interesting is I actually saw a woman making ornaments online, and she took a bunch of, I know this sounds insane, but it's okay, I saw it done, about 250 milliliters of cinnamon, so about US 2 cups of cinnamon, if you will, and then about 1 cup or less even of applesauce. And she mixed it together until she actually got a dough, and then rolled it out just like the salt dough ornaments, and then cut it out into different shapes, baked it in the oven, and when it came out, it was kind of like, looked like gingerbread. And she says that they last for years. So I was really intrigued. I guess if you didn't put sugar in the applesauce, it could last for years and you could just store it. Super interested, but needless to say, you could make a salt dough ornament and just add in some cinnamon bark, and I think it would smell very similar. Okay, easy candy cane sugar scrub. You know, I'm all about easy. I'm not one of these people who does anything complicated, I have to say. Again, this is a super easy one. You're going to mix your sugar or your salt with some fractionated coconut oil. You're going to add your peppermint oil, and then you're going to separate this mush, if you will, into 2. Color one side and don't color the other side. Super easy. And then layer it in a pretty jar. It's really that simple. I'm all about simple during the holidays. I don't think we want to do anything complicated. Last Christmas, I actually made some cranberry dressing with my nephew, who's 3 years old. I think he just turned 4, actually 3 years old. And it was so easy. We basically took a bag of cranberries, we mixed them up. It took us more time to wash those cranberries than it took the cranberries to cook, honestly. It just was a simple 3-ingredient recipe, if you will. Not super healthy because it had a ton of sugar in it, but really delicious and fast. And my seasoning was wild orange essential oil, and he got to drop in his drops and he really loved it. That's the type of thing where, especially when you're working with young children, easy, simple, less ingredients are best. Now, for those of you who are super creative, I have seen online a few of you making beautiful, absolutely beautiful DIY gifts. And I'm just in awe. Everything from lipsticks to soaps in special molds. Honestly, my hat goes off to you because you have really taken it up a next step. And if that's your jam, my goodness, congratulations. And I would love to sit in on one of your classes when I get to wherever you are. But for right now, at least for me, and I think for many of you, fast is going to be the way that we need to go. Now, in terms of the sugar scrub, once you have it in your nice jar, of course, you're going to cap it off, and then you're going to decorate it with some sort of a tupper and then maybe a bow, put it in a fancy bag, anything that's going to make it look really amazing. And the peppermint oil is terrific for scrubbing and for also invigorating the skin during the holiday months. Okay, some lollipops. Now, the reason these are called honeysuckers is a couple of different reasons. Number one is when we, and I don't want to say when, if you get a sore throat during the holiday months, many of us have the inclination to just take a little bit of honey on a spoon, and that's a good one. Putting a little honey on a spoon and then adding essential oils into it, like a peppermint or a lemon, are a really great fast way for us to combat a sore throat when we have one. But if you have the time and you can make these in advance, this is kind of a way for you to make that, have this ready in case you need it. So you're using sugar and honey, and the proportions there are one measure to 1/3 of a measure, and just a touch of water. You're going to add about 5 drops of your favorite essential oil for your lollipop. So in my case, I would probably be using lemon or ginger because that's what I like for soothing my throat. You could add other flavorings, but that's what I like. You're going to need some candy molds. You're going to need lollipop or popsicle sticks, and you're going to need a candy thermometer. Again, you're going to be basically dumping all of these ingredients into a pot, letting the sugar dissolve. You want to get the temperature up to 295 right before 295 Fahrenheit. So I don't know what that is in centigrade. You're going to have to convert me. Which is your candy level that you've got to get to for these to harden. Once you've gotten that, you're going to prepare your candy molds with a little bit of maybe some cooking spray. Drop all your things in, put your sticks inside. You've got to twist your sticks a bit so you make sure that they're really moistened on both sides. Boom. Let them dry. You've got your candy lollipops. The other thing that you can do is you can save these for yourself, or you can make kind of what I'm going to call lollipop bouquets that you can tie together, especially if you do them in fun shapes like this. Tie them together with a ribbon, wrap them up with some cellophane, and that's a wonderful gift, especially for maybe a young mom or a mom with some young children. That's a kind of a fun thing to give someone, and just think about it in the future. You can also make them and give them out at any sort of a gathering that you are that you're preparing. Okay, holiday cookies with benefits. Now, I know many of you make holiday cookies, and I did have a recipe here, but it was actually kind of complicated, included all sorts of different types of flours and stuff. And at the end, I thought to myself, everybody's got a different recipe. I like to use whole grain flours, whether it's sorghum or buckwheat or whole wheat flours. You can use chia seeds in your dough. You can use flaxseed meal. You can replace coconut oil for butter or other kinds of shortenings. You can use any kind of palm sugar or any sort of other sugar. So make it work. Even if you're just replacing 1 or 2 ingredients with something that's slightly higher, you're going to increase the benefits, the health benefits of that sweet treat, if you will. And practice, practice, practice. Practice is really what makes perfect. I remember one time I was making cheese straws, which I'm sure many of you know. It's sort of like a breadstick, right? But it's got cheese in it. And I decided I was going to replace some of the dough with either whole wheat dough or with a wholemeal dough. And let's just say that they were a little bit more crunchy than I wanted, but everybody ate them and they tasted delicious. They just looked, I don't know, less light and airy and fluffy like the regular ones. But you know what? They're gone now. And I'm sort of the mind of, taste and see if you like it and keep trying, and you can actually make it work. But if you are going to make gingerbread, you could consider putting things like cinnamon, ginger, and clove essential oil into your gingerbread. And I know some of you have made some beautiful gingerbread ornaments, cookies, gingerbread houses. But they do require their seasoning. Make sure that you start small, 1 to 2 drops. Usually 2 drops in a batch of cookies is just about right. So if you're using a traditional recipe with no substitutions, at least replacing the flavoring, the dried seasonings with some essential oil can be a way to up your cookie game and your flavor profiles of your cooking. Okay, this is a crazy recipe, and no, it is not healthy. But if you're a cheesecake person, I'm not really a cheesecake person, but this, talk about easy. Basically, dump the whole thing in a bowl and mix it around. The only thing you're not dumping in the bowl are the chocolate graham crackers. So you're using cream cheese, some powdered sugar, which many of you would call dusting sugar, 5 drops of peppermint oil, an 8-ounce container of whipped topping. You can also use the whipped topping right out of the can. No judgment here, folks. It is what it is. And then a cup of crushed peppermint chocolate. And then you're going to mush it up all together. Once you got it all mixed up, you're going to serve it on you can put it in a nice bowl and serve it with the crackers around. And it's like a cheesecake dessert without being baked. Anyway, so I thought this was kind of a fun one. You do have to beat the cream cheese until it's smooth. Otherwise, it's really going to look not so magnificent. This is kind of a photograph as it's being mixed together, so it's a little bit messy. But if you put it in a pretty ramekin and you put all the cookies around the outside, it really is cute and super easy. Okay, Filling ingredients. When you're making pies, and I know some of you are going to be making pies during the holiday season, if you're an apple person, you can include a drop of cinnamon bark and some extra drops of lemon essential oil. I was actually baking, what was I cooking the other day? I can't even remember. I was making something. Oh, I was actually making a salad with a salad dressing. At the end, it said, I don't know, a teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of lemon peel, grated lemon peel. And I didn't feel like doing it. And it was late at night. And I took out my, or at least it was dinner time. It wasn't late at night. And I took my lemon oil out of my cabinet. I put it in the dressing and I mixed it all up. And man, did it taste delicious. And I started slow. Right? So the key with essential oils is start slow. Start with a single drop and keep adding and tasting until you get it right. Now, for many of you who are experienced cooks, I've done this before, you're going to know the ratios based on the quantity of food. But if you're first starting out, make sure that you're checking your ratios. You can clearly see here that there's a lot more lemon essential oil than cinnamon bark. What I like about that and what it tells me is that lemon doesn't have as strong a flavor profile as cinnamon bark. So we want to be mindful. Don't just dump everything in at the same level. In general, citrus oils can be used a little bit with a little bit heavier hand, but your hot oils, your cinnamon, your ginger, your clove, for example, should be really used very sparingly. Even a toothpick, a dip could be the best way to go. Okay, we've got an all-purpose cleaner, got some food, got some cleaners for you. If you know someone who's kind of, I don't know, a clean freak, I have made, I know it sounds crazy, maybe not for Christmas, but I made it for other times. I have made people a pre-made bottle of either cleaner or a room spray and packed it up. And I've got a recipe for you for room spray. My personal favorite room spray that I'm using right now in my own bathroom, which I just love, love, love. This is a super easy one. You're using vinegar, water, essential oils, and then I would use about 30 drops of essential oils because this is quite a lot of liquid. You want to make sure everything is coming clean and you're using either the 15 drops each of lavender and lemon or 10 drops each of eucalyptus, peppermint, and wild orange. So I'm not recommending that you blend all of those together. If you have another smell profile that you like better for cleaning, go ahead and use it. I sometimes find that lemon alone, I don't know, you really have to add a lot of lemon to make it just feel punchy. And I feel like blending it with something else makes it a little more stand out. So tell me what you think in the chat. I'm just wondering, because I'm certainly of the mind that natural cleaning products are the best way to go. Recently read a book called Cleanish, CLEANISH. It's by a woman named Jen Stevens, and she talks a lot about how we can replace certain ingredients with other ingredients and kind of clean up our lives little by little. The thing that I like about that in general is she talks about how important it is for us to have cleaner ingredients in our life in general, and that making substitutions can reduce our toxic load, our hormone disruptors, our endocrine disruptors, our obesogenics, the things that we're exposed to on a daily basis, whether it's when we go into the gas pumps and we smell gas, or we even go into our supermarkets and we walk down the aisle that has all the artificial cleaners. Smelling all those things actually can affect the way we feel, the way we act, the way our bodies act. So we want to stay away from toxic things as much as possible. I've got a glass cleaner for you here. Again, super easy. You're going to use the same vinegar, the same water, and then a little bit less essential oils, because with glass cleaner, you want to get that kind of squeaky clean, non-streaky shine. I've even heard that it might be better to reverse the proportions. Instead of more water and less vinegar, more vinegar and less water. So try it out on your windows, see what you like. Everybody has their own formula and the way they think they want their windows to look. I'm not a window cleaning freak, I would say. I don't know. Like, we clean the windows that are easy to clean all the time, just to keep them really clean. And then the ones that are on the second floor that are harder to clean, we have a professional come in and, gosh, I'm not sure what they use, but they do their own thing. And the windows come out great. But in the meantime, we all have glass that we need to clean from time to time that can't be washed in a dishwasher or by hand. Okay, Next up, we've got, my favorite. Okay, so this is my personal favorite room spray. And when you look at it, you're just going to think, that's it. I'm telling you, this smells amazing. There's something about the combination of spearmint and lemon eucalyptus. And I use a lot of oils when I make this spray because the spearmint is fairly mild and so is the lemon eucalyptus, but together and in greater quantities. So 150 milliliters of water for all my US friends is only about a half a cup. I'm using about a 4-ounce sprayer bottle. That's one of the smaller ones, about this big. I keep it right in the bathroom, and I made a label on it that says lemon eucalyptus and spearmint. And I actually sort of copied a recipe from a spray that I had seen in the store. I came home and I kind of doctored up my own, and I kept adding essential oils until I could get it more or less to what I thought it had been. And when I went back and double checked it, it was nearly identical. Can't tell you the brand online, but it is, let's just say it's a really well-known brand. So I love this combo. Now I add one of two things into my sprays. I either add a pinch of salt or I add a tablespoon of vodka. I know some of you do not have vodka in your house, would prefer not to have it, but if you've got it, either one of those things are going to help with the emulsification of the essential oils with the water. If you do not add either one, the oil will definitely flow to the top. In that case, you really have to give it a shake almost every time you use it. Otherwise, you're going to be grabbing the water from the bottle, the oil is going to be on the top, and at the end, your oil is just going to sink to the bottom. Not the worst thing that could happen to you, but you do want to give it a shake each and every time. So either your pinch of salt or your tablespoon of vodka. And I do one or the other, depending on the way that I'm feeling. What other oils can you use besides spearmint? You could use peppermint, but I wouldn't use 20 drops. I would use a lot less if I were using spearmint. The other thing is, if you didn't like spearmint, you could use Siberian fir or any of the other fir oils, Douglas fir, I'm trying to think what else, drawing a blank right now, help me. But you could use any of the fir, the conifer oils in this particular blend if you don't have or don't really love spearmint. I like it also because it's milder, a little bit milder for children and for pets. Okay, next up, we've got immune and stress boosters. So I'm not going to go into this with great detail because I know some of you have some amazing recipes, and I feel like this is a whole other presentation. But I like to blend things like rosemary, clove, eucalyptus, cinnamon bark, and wild orange. So that would be a blend that I would put together. I would either be applying it on my feet or putting in my diffuser, but getting some of those wintry smells, either those spices or those conifers, into either a diffuser or roll-on bottle, or just applying them right onto my skin. Oils like On Guard lemon, peppermint, and lavender, we all know those, and we've used them throughout probably our career with using, since we first started using essential oils. I actually found an old video from 11 years ago, if you can believe it, that had been put together, I guess I'm not sure. I think it's right before I started at doTERRA, or right around the time I was moving to doTERRA, and just so many really good memories in there. There's nothing in there that I said, oh, look at that, that's terrible. And I actually was looking at all the people in the video. Some of them were you folks that are on here today, and thinking, wow, oh, look how cute they are. I'm so lucky. Anyway, so I'm thinking about immune boosters and stress boosters. A lot of us are under intense stress this time of year, and it could be happy stress, like me with 2 weddings and getting to travel and see my family, or it could be negative stress with someone who's not feeling well, or someone who's just, sorry about that. Or someone who's just struggling during the holidays. Holidays can bring up a lot of emotions, a lot of different feelings, including things like financial worries, worries about our relationship, worries about our family. It can all start feeling like it's piling on. And what social media can show you is, oh my gosh, everyone looks wonderful and so happy. Keep watching those behind the scenes videos, because really that's what's going on. I mean, I always love the ones where they show the woman beautifully dressed and then they pan to the room that's like a mess with everything thrown on the floor and just kind of a disaster going on. I know sometimes when I do recipes, either for Instagram or for here, and I'll cook, even if it's something simple with only a few ingredients, by the time I've finished putting together the video, the kitchen is a mess. It almost feels like it's not worth it. And so I want you to kind of step back from the stress of the season as much as you can, right? And take moments for yourself. I sometimes feel like to re-regulate myself, I just need time quietly by myself, not on my phone, not doing something electronic, not on my computer, but maybe just reading or sitting or meditating or praying or looking out of a window at the beautiful snow. Try to take time, and as much as you can, try to get some time in nature with some fresh air you possibly can. And for those of you who are in really cold climates, like here, I think today it's below 0 centigrade for sure. It may be a little bit more difficult, but even a minute or two can really help you get some good fresh air. Some additional stress boosters, of course, we love our adaptive, but I want you to think about things like vetiver, ylang-ylang, bergamot, Roman chamomile, frankincense, of course, even your myrrh, all of those things, your holiday oils, they really can help you to feel just a little bit brighter, a little bit more cheerful. Incorporate them, use them, take them out, have them in places where you're going to say, oh yeah, let me just put a little bit of that on and enjoy your season as much as you can. Okay, the ultimate gift to yourself and to someone else, if you want to give this, is to keep up with your supplements, right? If we're eating crazy stuff and maybe we're drinking too much and maybe we're not getting enough exercise, continuing with your supplementation can be the key in the door. I know sometimes when I'm talking to my kids and they seem a little bit off, I'll say, have you taken your supplements today? And the answer in general is, oh no, I haven't. And so, you know what? Get back to it. If you've been off it, or you've been taking a partial dose, or you've been skipping your doses, or you've been saying, oh my gosh, I'm so busy, I get to the end of the day, move your supplements to a place where you're going to take them every day. I've shifted mine. I always used to have them in a kitchen cabinet, and it worked well for the longest time, but my life has kind of changed up again. So now I get up in the morning, and when I take my morning glass of water and so on, I pull everything out, I stick them in a little dish, and then the little dish goes onto my dining room table. So if I see that little dish is still full, I know, uh-oh, I haven't taken my supplements. So please take some from your friend Elena. Take your supplements, make sure you're taking them every day, and take them in combination or take them individually. Support yourself. You really do need it. So now what? So I'd love to say I could come over to your house and we'd have a DIY session together. That would be really fun. Or at least I could go wherever you are and we could be together to have a group DIY and really whoop it up and talk, I don't know, chit chat and have some fun. But I don't know if that's going to be possible. So I'm going to invite you to invite your friends wherever you are, people you know, people that you're close to. Invite a couple of people over. Even if you just invite 1 or 2 friends over, make it a community event and make it work for you, whether it's in your church or your community center or at your kids' school or at a place that you usually gather. Can you make the suggestion, hey, could we do this? And even if you can't do it right now, you might want to suggest something for the new year. Everybody needs some activity that they can do in community. And that's the best way for us to stick together and also to feel healthy. We do really need to be together. Okay, I want to say thank you to everyone and happy holidays. I know people are celebrating all different sorts of holidays, including Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, and Diwali was just celebrated a couple of weeks ago. I value your holidays, and I am so honored that you're here to celebrate with me and the holidays that I'm going to be going through. We do really have a lot of holiday joy, don't we? And a lot of holiday love and holiday peace. I hope you'll consider contacting me and following. There's so many ways to do that now, and we are seeing such an uptick, which is so wonderful, of all of you getting in contact and really just talking to us and chatting and asking questions. And I love that, I have to say, and we try our best to get back to you. So please be patient with us if we don't, or send us another message. And I hope that this holiday season proves to be a joyous one for you. So Merry Christmas, everyone, to all of you listening right here live and all of you who are going to listen later, or maybe sometime in the future. I'm so happy that you were here with us. I know this is going to be a joyful Christmas season and a happy new year. Thank you for having been here. Okay, everyone. This has been, I have to say, this has been a really special presentation for me. I'm feeling much more energized. I know sometimes when I get on Mondays, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, 8 o'clock. And as you know, I move my time instead of you moving your time. So when that alarm goes off, sometimes on Monday morning, including today, to be honest, I was sort of thinking, what is that? But here I am. I'm so happy to see you. Have a wonderful next few weeks. And hopefully I will see you right after the new year. So I will not see you for Christmas or for New Year. I'll see you probably that Monday right after New Year. And if I don't, it'll be the following week. In the meantime, have a joyous, joyous season and welcome back. And we'll see you in 2023. See you real soon. Bye-bye now.